Hey everybody, it's Ozark Prepper 1. I'm going to make a quick video before I call it a night. And I've made this point before, but every time I find myself driving through a cookie cutter subdivision, it reminds me that that is the bread and circus. These fake families, it's bread and circus. And that's why marriages do not last like they did before, is because everyone's more worried about the visual content for their people they think that are their friends. And it's something that it really targets young couples, people who are in their 20s, because they want to impress the people that they were indoctrinated with for 12 years in a public school system. So they want to impress those people that they're probably never going to talk to again anyway. But in their mind, they think they are. And so they find new supply of people they think they're going to impress, which would be their new neighbors. And it goes on and on. But there are people that will live in a subdivision of, say, 200 to 300 homes. And inside that subdivision of 200 to 300 homes, you're going to find people that are almost identical. These people are living the same type of life. Consume, consume, consume. And they don't put back for a future of any kind, except more consuming. But these people are living risky situations because they're working at jobs that are finite. They can lose their job. And they're making payments on that home and those oversized vehicles that they also do not need. You know what I think is great is traditional America, to where the homes in the old days were built a certain way, they were built a certain size. Nothing was really always that big. You had your big ones at the edge of most towns. You'd have your ones that are like farmhouses, and that's usually where a town may have expanded some, and they swallowed up the little farm community that was right next to them. And that's common. That's almost every small town in America. But we didn't have those cookie cutter subdivisions. You know, if you go to any small town that's been here for 200 years or so, or 300, however long, you're going to find parts of it where the house may be 2 or 3 bedrooms, but they're small bedrooms. And usually you'll have a front porch or an entry foyer, and you'll have a living room as soon as you walk in. And on the side door, that's where your kitchen is usually at. And in a lot of homes, most people will walk through the kitchen first, especially in the winter months, because not to track in mud and things like that onto the living room carpet. And that's how most of America was set up. But you'd go into these old neighborhoods, and the homes were usually siding or brick, and they're usually painted white. And they weren't super large homes. They weren't menacing the way the way they are now. The way they are now, I'd say, reflect the human condition of today. It's where people have all these methods of communication, but they do not communicate face to face anymore. And there's no love built into anything. These homes are slapped together these days, and they're oversized. And when you make something so oversized, think about it. When you have a family in that home, now that family is spread apart farther within the home. And they're less efficient because they're bigger. When you have something that big that's 3 times the size of a traditional home, then it's going to take 3 times energy to cool and to heat it. So that takes away whatever those people thought they were going to gain, because it rips it out of their financial statement at the end of the month, every month. So figure that's an extra $200 or $300 out of their pocket every month, at least, just on energy. And that's a trap. It's set on purpose. They entice these people to buy these type of homes, then they buy them, and then they're stuck in them because they have to pay those high bills. They can't escape. And when the market twists a certain way, they can't sell those homes, so they have to stay in them or lose them. And a lot of people lose them. But you people that are in your 20s, you young couples and stuff, don't fall for it. Don't go out there and buy a big home or none of that stuff. Don't go take out that 30-year contract or none of that stuff. That's stupid. If you have great parents and get along, you know, stay there if you can. If not, rent a small camper lot or something. Save your money and invest it. You know, find one of those old traditional American homes if you can. They're in every city. They're in every town. Those little forgotten homes that were once thriving, they were built tougher. That's why they're still there. Anyway, I'm going to call it a night. Ozark Prepper 1 out.